What's up, y'all? This is Brave, and I'm back with another review of Summer House Martha's Vineyard. This is going to be season 1, episode 4, I believe. And baby, let's get right into it because I feel like there is a few people at fault for the shenanigans that occurred on this episode. Y'all go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And let's talk about the episode. So, we are starting off with everybody being oh so shocked that Nick has a girlfriend. That's because Nick never told them, and now he randomly decided to say, yeah, I have a girlfriend. Even though this man has slid into every woman's DMs besides, I want to say, Mariah and Jasmine, I think. Yeah, Nick, you're a weirdo. Because how is it that you have a whole relationship and you're sliding in these girls' DMs? Did you think you were going to have like a rendezvous on screen? What is this? So let's move on to the next day because everybody gets up and we learn that Shanice has to actually go home because she has a new job in sales and she has to prove herself at this job. So she only going to be here for the weekend. Girl, I guess. So before she leaves, they decide that the girls are going to go have a little mimosa walk and they're going to basically have some mimosas and go walk around the neighborhood while the guys are going to work out. Number one, Preston wanted to go with the girls. He should have been able to go with them because even though, they're trying to do this whole girls thing and guys thing, let that man go over there with the girls if that's where he feel comfortable at. So the girls, when they're together, they talk about how Nick has a girlfriend. Whoa, shocker. Like, find something else to talk about. I just have to say this, y'all. As much as I'm enjoying this show, I also have a problem with the fact that they don't have nothing to talk about. And if they are talking about something, it's like, okay, let's move on. Because Nicholas having a girlfriend, that should not be the main topic of any conversation, considering how lame and boring he is. And on top of that, it's not like y'all was going to give him any play. So it doesn't even matter, honestly, if he has a girlfriend or not. Now, as far as the guys go, they're working out, right? Keep in mind, we can already tell that all the guys work out. Silas, he's in like the army or whatever, so you already know he has to stay fit to be in the reserve. You have, what's the one guy who always doing yoga? Alex, I think he definitely tries to, work out, stay fit. Of course, Nick probably has an Equinox membership. But then you have Preston. Preston was doing, he was working out. He was going as hard as he could at the pace that he felt comfortable going. But here we have Silas saying that, oh, well, you need to give me more reps because you're not doing this and you're not doing that. And Preston has to explain to him, sir, I'm doing the best that I can, and your endurance level and mine is two different things, which is so true. It is so freaking true. I cannot stand with people who are physically fit, and I mean like they work out all the time. They expect for everyone to match their energy just because that's their personal standard. No. If Preston felt comfortable working out to a certain extent and then he wants to take a break, let that man take a break. But like Silas always does, he has to control everything. Silas, go away from us. And y'all, I don't know how many more episodes that we have of this show, because we're already on episode 4 and they're already on day 6. I'm not sure if we're going to get 6 episodes or if we're going to get 8, but either way, I just feel like we need more of Preston. I feel like he is getting lost in the shuffle, and I know that he has a lot to say, but they're not allowing him to say it. Where's his confessionals? Where's him, throwing shade at a couple of people? Now, y'all, here we got to circle back to these conversations that I feel like, why are we still having them? After the workout, Silas wants to talk about the girls getting free drinks. Sir, we have went over this how many times on how many episodes? Your wife was already a person before she got with you. These were already her friends. So if these girls decide that they want to go out and there's a guy who decides to send drinks over and he sends everybody a drink over, you think that your wife ain't gonna pick that drink up? Please get out of my face with this. Let Jasmine live. What you need to realize is that she was a person before you got into the picture, and you have to accept who that person is. But here's the problem. Jasmine never showed you who that person was. Jasmine came to Silas, it seems like, on some, I'm going to change my whole persona and vibe because I got to get this man. I got to get this man to marry me. So I'm going to change everything about me and who I am, so that way he'll love me. He'll love the person that, I'm creating to be with him. But here's the thing, girl, your friends don't know that person. So the fact that you got all of them here on this trip, baby, it ain't helping. Like, I understand that we all look at Silas and he seems very controlling, but I also feel like it's because that Jasmine changed her complete persona. He don't know this woman when she's with her friends. He don't know who that is. So now he feels like, oh, sheesh, I need to try to control something because I don't know what she's really doing when she's out because he don't really know her. Let's call it the thing. They only, dated 6 months and then they got married? Yeah, okay. Let's go ahead and move on. Alright, so now we have people doing random things around the house. Cool. Y'all, let's talk about Jordan because I like her, but then sometimes I don't. Because if this woman brings up her doing Playboy one more time, I'm going to scream. So her and Alex, they are in the pool house. They're blowing up, like the little floaty things that you sit on when you're in the pool or whatever. They're blowing those up. So he made some type of sexual jokes, some type of sexual innuendo or whatever. And she's like, Alex is so strange. I don't know if he really likes me or if this is because I did Playboy. And I'm like, girl, the fact that you keep harboring on the fact that you did Playboy makes me wonder, one, if you regret doing it, or number two, that's the only thing you got going for yourself. Because you've mentioned it far too many times. Stop acting as if you doing Playboy was when Playboy was in its highest peak, okay? You were not the first black girl to do Playboy as if this was, the 70s, 80s, 90s. Hell, you didn't even do Playboy in the early 2000s. That's when we cared. At least you could have been with the girls, what's it called? The Girls Next Door. When they used to have a show on E. Like, girl, you keep mentioning Playboy as if it's relevant. It's not. We see all of this stuff on Instagram. We don't need Playboy for it, okay? And honestly, I just feel like the guy made a joke. It is what it is. I know plenty of people who have made, especially guys, who have made sexual jokes in front of me, and we have no interest in each other, okay? If it's a funny joke, it's a funny joke. Relax. So next we see Nick trying to have a conversation with Silas. And basically he's trying to say, listen, man, you're controlling. And at the end of the day, Jasmine is a grown woman. She should know how to handle herself. And if you keep coddling her and trying to control her, she's not going to be able to rely on her own self-awareness as well as just being able to rely on herself, period. Because you want her to run to you for every little thing. That's not realistic. But let's go ahead and move on. Alright, now y'all, let's talk about this random conversation that happened in the kitchen. We have Bria, Preston, and Amir there. Now, they're talking about how Nick is in a relationship. Again, why is this a topic? Find something else. Then they talk about how Bria, when her man comes in town, how the guys are probably going to be questioning him because they look at her like a little sister and all this stuff. These Negroes don't know you. These Negroes are not looking at you as if you are a little sister. Stop playing in my face. Here's my thing about this group. Nobody really knows each other, and it's annoying. Because as much as they're trying to make it seem like, oh, we're friends, we're this, that, another. No, y'all not. Y'all really are not. I feel like, honestly, if you want to break down this whole cast of people, you have Jasmine. She has supposedly all of these friends, but it seemed like she don't even talk to half of them the way that you would in a regular friendship. And then when it comes to Silas, he don't have no friends. That's why he's so busy worried about what Jasmine is doing 24/7. Because how is this supposed to be a trip that y'all are hosting and only Jasmine has friends that came to the trip? Not a one person is Silas's friend besides Preston. And it don't seem like him and Preston really hang out like that. It doesn't seem like, they even really rock with each other like that. All because they're line brothers, that means nothing in my eyes. I feel like he called up Preston and was like, hey, I know that, you have a cool personality. You probably want to do some TV stuff. You want to come on this show? Because we have an opportunity for you. So that's why it's really frustrating for me to watch this show. At least to me, it seems like there's no real connection with these people. So it's crazy to me that Bria is sitting up here talking about some Amir is looking at her as a little sister when that man don't even know you. Because last time I checked, Amir was Jasmine's friend, but I can't recall how they actually met or how they knew each other. Maybe they went to college together or something. I'm not really sure. But nonetheless, this man, Amir, he started boohoo crying about how, family is so important to him and how now they're his family. And I'm just like, what is happening? Like, I feel like this show, they just don't want to just exist. And that's what it needs to do. I need this to be a show with just black people in a house for the summer just existing. I don't need y'all deep moments. I don't need the tears. I don't need you to yell out black excellence. I don't need you to yell out, I love you, black man. I don't need none of that. I just want y'all to exist. Act a fool if you want to. Do your thing. But stop trying to have all these unnecessary moments. Like, I'm sorry, I may still be harboring feelings about Amir because he didn't, speak up when he should have, causing a whole thing between Bria and Mariah unnecessarily. And also the fact that it doesn't seem like he ever mentioned to Bria that he's the one who stirred all this up, but he playing in her face. Yeah, okay. But on top of that, it really makes me wonder because he's talked about how, now that he's an adult, he's trying to explore his black side and all of that. My question is, do you have black friends back home in Texas? Or was this just a social experiment for you? But let's go ahead and move on. Alright, so then we quickly see that Nick can't swim. You know what? I can't even knock him because there's a lot of black people who may not have always had access to pools and water to learn how to swim. And also on top of that, as an adult, learning how to swim is a very hard thing to do. I know that for a lot of people because that fear has been in you for years. It is built up. And the thought of drowning, very scary. Nonetheless, let's move on. Alright, y'all. So now we have this group dinner, right? Cool. They just gonna sit around, have a good time, right? No. They sat around and talked about how Nick has a girlfriend. Why do we care? We just talked about this the night before. We talked about it this morning. Why are we still talking about Nick having a girlfriend? Who cares? I don't care how many times he said that Shanice would be his wife. I don't really care about all the times he slid into these girls' DMs at this point. We need to talk about a new topic. We really do. Now, one thing that I wanted to point out was the fact that Jasmine was really coming off so understanding to Nick and his relationship. And I'm like, it's so crazy that you're giving Nick all this grace. However, you're giving Bria the total opposite. Because since y'all have got there, you have felt some type of way about Bria having a boyfriend. You really have. I don't know if you're upset because she gets to do as she pleases with her man and you don't. I don't know. But nonetheless, you have, questioned her multiple times if she was interested in any of the other guys and all this stuff. Did you question Nick like that? Just curious because you're extending so much grace to him. Let's go ahead and move on. Oh, and I forgot to mention, one thing that I found to be very strange is the fact that Alex knew that Nick had a girlfriend this whole time, but he felt like that was that man's truth to tell. And I'm like, his truth? You saying that as if Nick had a boyfriend and he didn't come out to everybody yet. But also, it's strange that you knew that your homeboy was sliding into DMs and you thought that it was funny knowing that he had a girlfriend. You're a weirdo too, Alex. But let's go ahead and move on to the fact that Bria, she ends up sending a text saying how, she's so excited that Simon will be coming and staying for a week. Ooh, now that's a problem. And Bria, she's excited about this. On the other end of things, we have Jasmine. She has to, talk to her husband about this because they have a problem with the fact that this man will be here for a week. And I'm just like, so y'all weren't listening at the bowling alley because y'all literally sat in that girl's face, nodding your head up and down when she explained it doesn't make sense for him to only stay here for 3 days, so he'll be here for a week. Were we all not listening? Or if she didn't say he'll be here for a week, I think she said he'll be here the last week. Y'all two didn't come up with the idea to say, well, how many days are you thinking? Since you said 3 days is too short, are you thinking he'll stay for 5? Like, y'all didn't think to ask those types of questions? No? Alright, so now you have Silas. He's like, no, we need to put our foot down about this because at the end of the day, her boyfriend is not a full cast member. That's what he basically wanted to say. And that would be him enjoying this trip as long as the rest of the cast that's here. And I completely understand that. However, you could have been vocal in the moment that you talked to this girl. Instead of y'all just nodding your head, it was probably going in one ear and out the other because y'all don't really like Bria like that. But you should have been listening. And if we want to be completely honest, I'm kind of annoyed at the fact that they're like, we've been gracious enough to let her have her dog. Here's the thing. Even though Milo does not wear a jacket, and I'm not exactly sure if he is officially an ESA animal, if y'all don't watch this show and realize that Bria and her high emotions going up and down throughout these episodes, that this girl actually does need an emotional support animal, then y'all are tripping. Because baby girl definitely needs one. So if Milo calms her down, let Milo stay. Let Milo rock out. At the end of the day, I feel like she has made changes when it comes to Milo. I feel like we only see Milo in her room now. I feel like she don't be carrying Milo around the house. It does not seem like she brings Milo to the pool anymore. It literally looks like Milo has been in her room since that whole blow up with Mariah. Now, y'all, I'm going to need for the camera crew of Summer House to just start going black when it comes to Silas and Jasmine getting in. I'm sick of it. I don't want to see him on top of her no more. I'm tired of it. Nonetheless, y'all, we are on day 7 now. Alright, so now it's the next morning and we see that Bria and Jasmine are going to have a conversation. Because Jasmine feels some type of way about this whole idea of Simon coming and staying for 7 days. Or should I say a week. That's what they keep saying. So Bria's like, yeah, I already told you about this when we were at the bowling alley. And Jasmine's like, well, that's a long time. And we have 2 more castmates coming in. So that would be him staying as long as they're going to be staying. Girl, why didn't you say these things earlier? Number 1. Number 2, in this moment, you're still not saying anything to her. Because you decide to say, well, I just want to bring it to the house and see what they think about it. Which sounds like you're going to go around the house and say, hey, how do you feel that Bria's boyfriend is going to be coming to stay? That's what that sounds like. What I need for you and your man to do is say, you know what, Bria, this is our trip and we feel like 7 days or a week, however it is, that's a bit too long for Simon to stay. Now, we don't want you to feel like, we're just pushing him out or anything. But as far as him staying in this house, that's a bit lengthy. Because as you already know, we already have enough guests here. And also on top of that, that would be him staying as long as the rest of the cast. What he can do is get a hotel. You can go freely with him. It doesn't matter to us. We just want everybody to be comfortable in the house. That's all you have to say in that moment. But no, that's not what you did. You sat up there and you just let the conversation just kind of linger on when you should have been putting your foot down, Jasmine. If this is how strongly you feel about this, you and your man. So now in her confessional, she swears that Bria never said anything to her. She swears that Bria never said anything about this man even coming. And you have production like, girl, she told you this. And then they flash it. 5 days ago, she told you that that man was going to come the last week. How dumb are you, Jasmine? Let us know. Alright, so now we have this conversation between Bria and Shanice because she ends up FaceTiming her homegirl, right? Because I feel like these two are actually friends and not friends with Jasmine. But that's for a later time. So they talk about how Alex basically was like, listen, I saw the article about Shanice. He not really messing with her like that. I have not read this article, but I have heard that the things that were said in the article, it definitely seems like Shanice was doing a lot, okay? So there's that. Now, did y'all catch the fact that Shanice was like, oh, I wish that there were other guys there, but she basically ended up hooking up with somebody last night, so she good to go. And I'm just like, well, girl, why do you want to hook up with somebody on this show when you already got somebody in the real world who is probably not wasting your time the way these guys would? Focus on what you got at home, because this right here ain't what you want. Because I promise, the guys here, no thank you. All of them are a little weird. Nonetheless, they talk about Simon and how, if everybody's going to have a problem with him being there. And Shanice didn't seem to have much input. But when it comes to Bria, she says, I'm going to talk to Silas about it because maybe he'll remember, what I said. So she just wants to make sure that she ain't the crazy one here because Jasmine just told her, I don't remember you saying anything. So we'll get to her and Silas a little bit later. But next thing you know, everybody, they are getting ready to go fishing because Amir has this bright idea that they can all go fishing, and then when they come back, he'll cook the fish. And that was pretty much what happened. Everybody caught a fish, they had a good time, and then they came back home. So when they actually got back home, there's boxes of flowers for Bria. And honestly, that was a very sweet gesture that Simon did to send flowers to her. It was very sweet. I can't even, knock that. Alright, y'all. So now we have the first replacement. And that's Summer. She's here to replace who? Mariah. Nonetheless, the girl walks in. According to some of the guys, I think it was Nick and Alex, they were like, oh, she has a Hillary Banks vibe. Okay. I'm not really sure if that's a compliment or not, because as much as Hillary Banks was super fashion forward, let's not forget that Hillary was a ditz. Baby girl was a little ditzy, okay? Nonetheless, Summer comes in. We learn that she is also a screenwriter, but her day job is a personal assistant. I'm not trying to, diss her or nothing, but I feel like they are really just tossing this screenwriter word around, but no one is really working behind the scenes in TV and film. But I'm gonna go ahead and let them rock. So she gets there. They talk about how, she knows Jasmine as well as Jordan. And according to Jordan, she wrote an article about her in Playboy, because she's a journalist. I said, girl, when did you pick up a pen to be a journalist? You wrote one article. Chill out. Because last time that I checked, you were a model and a DJ. You never claimed the title journalist. And also, you wrote for Playboy. So let's not even go there, because I feel like you mention Playboy every episode. Nonetheless, we learned that the guys want to have a toga party. I'm not even gonna lie, y'all. I gave this the biggest side eye. You mean tell me that y'all just sat around here called this Black Excellence and we want to do all this because it's Martha's Vineyard and we want to give history lessons. But then you want to throw a toga party, which is what, Greek? Has nothing to do with black people? I'm giving y'all a major side eye. Talking about we want to take this back to college days. Y'all couldn't think of anything else instead of a toga party to have? Okay, whatever. Nonetheless, while they're having this toga party, they want to separate into two teams. They want it to be the alphas versus the kappas, because you already know you have Silas and Preston. They are alphas. And then you have Nick and, what's his name? Alex. They are both kappas or whatever. And you have this girl, Summer, talking about how she got, number one, kicked out of her sorority. Number two, she's an alpha phi. Here's the thing, girl. They're talking about the Divine Nine. They're only referencing black sororities and fraternities. You went to a predominantly white school, and they did not have, probably, I'm going to assume, they did not have chapters of the Divine Nine, because all PWIs do not have a chapter. Because I know for sure when I went to college, the college that I went to was a PWI. There were no chapters of black sororities, and I definitely did not want to pledge anything that was a majority white group. So I said, you know what? Maybe I'm not meant to be in one. But back to Summer. I'm just like, girl, you sound ridiculous. Also, I'm not trying to be rude, but I feel like Summer was raised in a predominantly white area probably her entire life. So she probably has a similar background to Amir. That's all I'm going to say, and I'm going to leave that there. Alright, y'all. So here comes the second replacement. And his name is Jason. We learned that he's a flight attendant, and he used to be Jasmine's roommate. And y'all, again, where is Silas's friends? Silas had nobody else that he could have invited on this trip. That is so strange to me, that Silas has nobody else that is his friend that could have came to this thing. Because everyone is Jasmine's friend, even though they not really her friend like that. Because even when I think about how Bria and Shanice were there, they don't seem like they're really her friend. Like, they used to work with her, but they not her friend. Same thing with Phil, because Phil didn't even know her. How did he even get an invitation before Jason? Because Jason is the replacement. None of this is making sense. But you know what? We gonna rock with the foolishness that they got going on. Now, one thing that I have to point out is the fact that Jasmine was very handsy with Jason. And I'm just like, Silas, y'all gonna have a conversation, behind closed doors? Is that what's gonna happen? Because the same way you was about them drinks, you might want to be like that over her hands with Jason, since you controlling it and everything. But let's go ahead and move on. So we actually see that Bria is talking to Simon. And at the same time that that's happening, Jasmine is giving Jason a tour of the place, right? So here's the thing. So as I'm watching the show, I noticed that at the bottom of the screen, it says that Simon is supposed to arrive in 3 days. Keep in mind, y'all, we are on day 7. They only have 15 days of this trip, right? So if he's going to arrive on day 10, that means that he's going to stay until day 15, right? Now, in the grand scheme of things, it absolutely makes sense why Bria told them, hey, it doesn't make sense for him to come out here just so he can turn around for a 13-hour flight, which is technically going to be a 26-hour flight because he's going back and forth. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make sense. Can he stay that last week? So he would only be staying for 5 days. I'm just trying to throw that out there so we can all get all the pieces of the puzzle. And I just feel like at this point, Jasmine and Silas, y'all should just say y'all don't want this man around. Because y'all make it seem like he's literally staying Monday to Sunday. And really, he's only staying Monday to Friday. And it's because where he's coming from, it does not make sense to fly, to do that quick of a turnaround. Which I do understand, like, if you are going to be flying all the way from Germany, that doesn't make sense for you to just do 2 days basically out here. I mean, out in the, Martha's Vineyard, and then you have to go back. That doesn't make sense. Now, later on, I'm about to go ahead and dig into Bria, but I'm just going to lay out all the facts. Now, y'all, we at this moment with them cooking in the kitchen, and Silas, he's over here pouring some lemon juice on this broccoli, right? Here comes Bria talking about something. Y'all put some Larry's on there? I said, first of all, who is Larry? It's called Laurie's, and ma'am, what you not about to do is give everybody high blood pressure because you decide to pour the whole thing of Laurie's seasoning salt on this broccoli. Get out the kitchen. It is very clear that you do not cook. All right, so round one of Silas and Bria having a conversation. Here's where Silas messed up. Silas messed up by continuing to mention how other people may feel some type of way that this man is going to be here. No. I need for you and Jasmine to stand on how you're feeling and say, hey, we just feel like 5 days, that's a long time for him to be here. He could go to a hotel for a couple of those days, but he just can't stay in the house that long because we wanted this house to be specifically for official cast members. That's all you have to say. But that's not what you did. Y'all keep leaning on this idea that there's people in the house who feel some type of way about Simon coming. And that's the thing. Nobody has said anything about this man showing up. Even if they do feel some type of way, nobody has voiced their opinion except for y'all two. So it's looking real crazy right now. Now, Bria, let me tell you where you messed up. You messed up bringing race into this. Yes, did Silas say that he wanted black women, or should I say he preferred black women to be married to black men? Yes, he absolutely said that. That is his preference. He did not call you out and say, Bria, you shouldn't be with a white man. He never did that. So I'm going to need for you to remove some of that energy because you're blowing it out of proportion. And also, because you decided to turn this into a race thing, that changed what we were even talking about. Because at the end of the day, if Bria would have stayed on the fact that Silas and Jasmine already agreed upon Simon arriving on whatever day it was and him staying for a week, that's more understandable. However, you trying to call this man out and making it a race thing? Absolutely not, girl. Absolutely not. Now, did she call him a racist? No. But Silas is like, are you calling me a racist? I can't lie. It was giving how white people be like, how dare you call me a racist? I have black friends. That was the energy that it was given. All right, so as they go on to talk about this, then Jasmine pops up out of nowhere because I think somebody in the house told her that they were talking outside. She added nothing to the conversation. Not a thing. You literally have Silas pleading his case of how he's not racist and giving examples as to why he's not racist. And then you have Bria. She's like, well, Jasmine, I have respect for him, but he's raising his voice at me. And here's my problem with people nowadays. I'm going to be for real right now. It is so annoying to me that everyone has this idea that when you are having a conversation with somebody and the moment is getting heated, that you need to stay with your voice at a certain octave. No, ma'am. If I feel very passionate about something, yes, you will hear an octave change, and you definitely will hear me be way more expressive than what I usually am. And it is so annoying, especially when people tell men, and specifically black men, that they need to lower their tone. Don't talk to me that way. As if he was yelling at her. I'm sorry, Bria, that man was not yelling at you. He was definitely talking with passion, but he was not yelling at you. So don't do that. Especially considering your voice started changing octaves and going up, but his can't. No, baby. It's an equal playing field. So at this point, Bria, she wants to go ahead, pack her things, and go home. Now, I will say, as she is storming off to her room, yelling about how she hates these people, she did have Milo in tow. And I'm like, you know what? I think Milo was necessary, y'all. I think he really may be an ESA animal, trying to keep this girl's emotions in check. So Bria is in her room, packing things away. and, or should I say just throwing stuff around. But you have everybody else, I guess they were doing this whole toga party thing, having a good time. Silas says he doesn't feel right with Bree and I being there. Do I think that he needed to go upstairs? Absolutely not. But he decides to take his ass upstairs. He goes up there. They get into a second round of arguing because she feels how she feels and he feels how he's feeling about not being a racist. Now, she calls him out because she feels like she don't have her man there. She's tired of hearing him hook up with his wife at the end of the night every night. And she feels some type of way about it. Now, when it comes to Silas, he's like, listen, we've been very nice to you and accommodating. We let your dog be here. And basically, Simon can't be here. I'm not a racist. So you have Silas going on and on about how this girl is manipulative. Yeah, I think that's how he said it. Instead of saying manipulative. And here's the thing. Is she manipulating the situation? To an extent, because she has you shook in your boots because there's a possibility that you've been accused of being a racist. And that's what your focus is on now. But here's the thing. According to him, people feel some type of way about Simon staying, but they have yet to take a house vote. And also on top of that, who has an issue? Only you and Jasmine. So quit playing. Next thing you know, she kicks this man out of her room, tells him that he's controlling and he ain't about to be controlling her. And that is where the episode left off. It seems like the mess is going to continue on the next episode. Y'all, let me know what y'all thought about this episode. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And I will talk to y'all in the next review. Bye, guys.